So we've looked at number two. Number two of paper one is always made. We've looked at number one, and number two of paper one is usually made up of a closed text. So with closed text, you just find an appropriate word to fill in the blank spaces. So I'm gonna read you the closed text first before I fill in the answers for you. So it goes. The instructions are: read the passage below and fill in each blank space with the most appropriate word. So I'll just go on, read through the closed text without giving answers. So here are some easy steps to follow as you plan your career. Dash, you should do a self-assessment. This will help you to discover your interests, skills, and personality. Dash, you should gather information. Dash, different jobs and occupations. You dash find all this from books, magazines, and people, full stop. The dash most important things that you need to learn are how much time it will take to dash for your career and how much dash will cost you. Next, you will need to get the dash skills. You can do this by getting more dash at a college, university, dash a technical school. So this is adapted from a listening and speaking publish. So let's go on and answer the questions. Here are some easy steps to follow as you plan your career. You can write first. First, you should do a self-assessment. This will help you to discover your interests, skills, and personality. Secondly, you should gather information about, or you can also say on, Secondly, you should gather information on different jobs and occupations. You can find all this from books, magazines, and people. So you can find this from books, magazines, and people. The third most important things that you need to learn are how much time it will take to prepare for your career and how much it will cost you. So number 5 is third. 6. Next, you will need to get the needed skills. The needed skills for that occupation. You can do this by getting knowledge at a college, university, or a technical school. Do the skills. So that the completed closed test will be, here are some easy steps to follow as you plan your career. First, you should do a self-assessment. This will help you to discover your interests, skills, and personality. Full stop. Secondly, you should gather information on different jobs and occupations. You can find all this from books, magazines, and people. The third most important things that you need to learn are how much time it will take to be ready to prepare for your career and how much it will cost you. Next, you will need to get the needed skills. You can do this by getting more skills or courses at a college, university, or a technical school. So, that is number 2. I've tried to complete the 2023 clause text, and then we go on to number 3 of paper 1. So number 3 of paper 1 was a text, and then you answer the questions on the same text. So these questions started with opening speech marks, which showed that this is direct address, and this showed that that was a speech. So let's go on and read it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this session. Today I'm going to talk about the science of success. In order to become successful, the one thing we need above all else is self-discipline. How little attention most of us give to that great subject. I want to tell you something. I want to suggest to you in the beginning of this talk that in order to make the greatest use of self-discipline, you've got to have a system to go by. You've got to have a plan. You've got to keep your mind occupied at all times with all the things and all the circumstances and all the desires of your choice, and strictly off the things that you don't want. Here's self-discipline in its highest order, keeping your mind fixed on the things you do want in life and off things you don't want. End of quote or closing speech marks. So the first question was, why was this a speech? Why was this a speech? So the first question was, why was this a speech? It is a speech because it has speech marks. First, it is a speech because it has speech marks, and second, you'll notice that this is direct address, so there must be a speaker and a listener. From the first line you see, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this session. This shows that someone is speaking to listeners, so we have a speaker and we also have listeners or an audience. So number 2 question was, what is achieved by the use of commas in the text? What is achieved by the use of commas in the text? So commas signify pauses between different parts of a sentences, and they made the meaning clearer and writing easier to read. So commas also help in providing additional information. They help to separate main clauses from subordinate clauses. So they also separate phrases from clauses. They separate nouns in sentences, for examples, those are that are subjects and objects. So number 3, describe how you will deliver the last sentence effectively. So the last sentence is always delivered with a falling intonation. Let me just read the last sentence. Here's self-discipline in its highest order, keeping your mind fixed on the things you want in life and off the things you don't want. So the last line will be read with a falling intonation and the use of commas where there are commas to pause. Pausing to indicate that we have commas, and of course with falling intonation. So we go to now question 4. That was all on the questions on the text. We now go to questions on oral skills. So on oral skills, they had a few words. They wanted you to organize the first group of words into one group and the second into another group. So the question goes, organize the following words in 2 groups according to the pronunciation of the letter S. According to the pronunciation of the letter S, we have the words sure, advise, vision, sugar, usual, pleasant. So you were to divide the words into two groups. I think there was three groups, but we'll go on and divide them into two groups. So the first word we say sure, sure, and the second one we say advise, advise. So let's write advise on the first group. Then we have vision, vision, vision. The next one is sugar. You can write that here. The next one is sugar. Sugar falls on the same group as usual. Sorry, sure. And then we have usual. Usual falls in the same group as vision. So write it here. And we also have pleasant. Pleasant falls in the same group as advise. So we also had the third group, which had sure. This one had sure. Okay. Sugar, but they only needed two groups, so you can go on and write any of the two groups. So we go on to the next question. It asks you, your teacher has asked you to practice introducing yourself and others. State 3 appropriate body language strategies that you may use during the activity. So they tell you, introduce yourself. How are you going to do it? That was the next question. So first of all, to introduce yourself, while introducing yourself, always maintain a body language that shows you respect your audience. So for example, you can maintain body language such as keep maintaining eye contact. You maintain eye contact to the person you're talking to. Also, in case you're sitting, you can sit upright. If you're standing, always stand upright. You can place your hand in a position as if you're praying. Thirdly, you need to practice to be audible. So first, maintain eye contact, maintain good body language, sit or stand upright, and you always try to be audible. And to introduce yourself, you can state your name, the things about you that make you who you are. Question C, number 2 says, there are different expressions you may use to introduce yourself. Write down 2. So, introducing yourself, first of all, you can start with greetings. Hello, my name is. Start with hello. And then you go to your name. My name is. It is nice to meet you. How do you do? And always maintain the response. They ask you a question, you go on and answer the questions. Hello, my name is. It's nice to meet you. How do you do? Always ask someone how they do. After that, you go on and provide responses for the questions that will be asked. So we go to question D. In each of the following sentences, underline the stressed part in the words in bold. So I'm going to write the sentences and then we stress the parts of words that are supposed to be stressed. So the first sentence goes, no doubt this is child abuse. No doubt this is child abuse. So this word has been written in bold, and in this case we'll stress the second part of abuse, that is abuse. So we will stress that part. Let's go to the second sentence. Do you think you will manage to complete the assignment? Do you think you will manage to complete the assignment? So in this case, that's a verb. So we'll definitely stress the second part. Manage, 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 manage. So it will be the second part. And the third sentence goes, tribalism is an enemy of progress. Tribalism is an enemy of progress. So this is a noun. This is a noun, so we'll go on and stress the first part. We'll go on and stress the first syllable, which is tribe. Okay, let's go on and look at the next sentence and at the next question, question A. Imagine you are listening to oral instructions. What two things will you do to ensure you get everything clearly? What do you do while listening to get things clearly? First of all, you have to listen keenly. Second of all, you can take notes on the main points that are given. Listen keenly, take notes. Maintain eye contact. Facial expressions always mean a lot, so you can always maintain eye contact. And then another thing, nonverbal cues. Give gestures, nod. Use gestures such as nodding to be in agreement with the person who is speaking. And you can also take part in asking questions. Ask questions, answer questions that are asked. So that is it on A. You listen carefully. While listening, you listen keenly, take notes, maintain eye contact, nod in agreement. You can also ask and answer questions. So let's go to the next question. You are among the audience in an oral performance. Write two things that you'll do to encourage the narrator to continue. So in an oral performance, you're a listener. You can always maintain eye contact, nod in agreement, always sit upright, among other things. So we go on to the last question. The principal has sent you to call a student from a class. You find a teacher in the class. How would you do after delivering the message? How would you go about delivering a message? So you've been sent, in this case, they test you about etiquette. So first of all, knock on the door and wait to be allowed in. After knocking on the door, excuse yourself. Excuse me, madam, or excuse me, sir. Excuse yourself, and then introduce yourself. I am this and this from this and this. And then you can go on and tell the teacher silently or not in a so loud voice. You can tell them what you came in for. After you've done what you came in for, you thank the teacher. So knock on the door, excuse yourself, introduce yourself, talk silently to the teacher about what you came for, and then thank the teacher. So that question tested you on etiquette. So that was it on paper 1, 2023. Paper 1 was very simple. Paper 1 is always simple. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you'll go on, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Next time we look at paper 2 of 2023. Have a great time. I am Shelly Adera. This is English TV.